Welcome to Conscious Coupling, where Frederic and Christy Whitman share their experiences of creating a conscious, connected relationship. Every week, they give practical tools, steps, and processes to help you find the loving connection with your partner. Let's get into today's conversation with Frederic and Christy.
Look deep into my eyes.
Fall asleep into my eyes.
Fall asleep. Hello, everybody. It's the Conscious Connected Coupling with Christy Whitman.
And Frederic Gilbert.
You know who you are? Today we are going to talk about how to spice it up in your relationship, how to have your relationship be exciting, and how to have a mindful relationship and be able to have love manifesting all the time.
And we'll give you some wonderful things, suggestions that you guys can take home with you and apply to having a great, lasting, loving relationship.
So we're going to do the top 10 things that you could do. The first one is, and this is something that we suggest that you do at least once a day, because it doesn't take a long time to do. It's something that just takes a few seconds, but it makes a huge difference. So you just look at your partner in the eyes, soul to soul, the windows of the soul, and just look deeply into their eyes.
Just like that.
And allow yourself to feel and to receive, to allow yourself to give and receive love through your eyes. It's amazing how intimate you can be just with saying no words and doing nothing by being in each other's eyes, just looking into each other's eyes. And a lot of times when you think about it, couples may not even look at each other, right? They're going about their days, they get up, they run into the day, they're not even taking that time to be really, really mindful. And love, in order to grow, you have to have that mindful presence. So when you are feeling uncomfortable looking into each other's eyes, you might have some uncomfortableness about intimacy. And that's, again, something to look at in yourself and why you're not feeling that you're wanting to give and receive love from your partner. So these are good clues that if you go to do this little exercise that takes just seconds to do, what are you resisting? What are you persisting with that?
So it's important just when you're communicating with each other, right, as you mentioned, in the morning when you're getting ready to go to work, everything is a little bit, stressful, and it needs to be done quickly, especially if we have kids that need to go themselves get ready.
School,
we need to drive them to
yep.
school. So often it's just a quick hello and then a goodbye kiss, and we're off to work. We're off to doing our chores for the day. And I feel that it's important to just communicate when you are talking to each other. Just have eye contact once in a while so that there is this connection among both people in the couple.
Absolutely. So number 2 is show affection. Hug, kiss, stroke their arm, do something to show some form of affection giving. And when you do it, it's not like just a quick, hug. When you're doing it, when you're hugging, really feel your partner. Allow yourself to be felt in that space of love. Allow yourself to be present. And both of you really just take a couple of moments. I remember one time when I was at a Transformational Leadership Council meeting, and Dave Asbury from Bulletproof and I were just kind of hugging each other. And Dr. John Gray, the men are from Mars, women are from Venus guy, he's just an incredible human being. He saw us hug and he goes, "That's not a hug." And we kind of looked at each other and thought, well, that felt like a nice hug. And he had us literally hug each other and take a breath with each other and then release. He goes, if you do it more than that, especially if you're, just friends, it's a little weird, right? It could be awkward. But it's so true that if you just hug someone and just take a breath with them, there's such a connection that happens with two human beings that resonate with each other. So with your partner, hug them and just take a breath. Take a breath in their arms together. It quiets you down as you take a breath. That is such a mindfulness thing to do, to bring you back into the here and the now, which is really where all of our power exists. And when you do that with your partner, there's such a synchronicity that happens. So that is the second point that we wanted to make.
And make that hug a heart-to-heart hug, right? Not just a hand or arm level hug. It's nice to have that heart-to-heart. For me, I like feeling the heartbeat of my partner, of Christy, and she also feels my heartbeat when I hug her. Like sometimes she'll tell me, oh, I feel your heartbeat. That's a heart-to-heart hug.
Yeah, that's a great point. I love that. So the third one is acknowledge and compliment. So a lot of times, you know, your partner may do something and just acknowledge what they've done. If they've done something special or not so special, maybe they took out the garbage and that's something that they do all the time, but it's like you don't have to, I don't ever have to take out the garbage because Frederic does it. And so when it's gone, I'm like, hon, thank you so much for taking out the garbage. Show appreciation, acknowledge for what he does do. If he makes the kids a meal or takes them, you know, to go play soccer somewhere to get their energy out, I acknowledge him. And, you know, that acknowledgement really, you know, you could speak to that. When I acknowledge you for what you do, how do you feel?
Well, it feels great. It feels that, you know, I'm playing an important part in our relationship together. That's why, you know, we want to hear also from our partners that, you know, we are basically acknowledge we're doing some things that feel good, so that the partner doesn't feel that she or he is alone in doing things that need to be done. God knows there's plenty of things that need to be done during the day, especially when you have kids.
In a household
and all that, bills, whatever it is. So the partner does not want to feel like they're left alone doing everything and it's not on their back. Like,
they want to feel valued.
We want to feel like there's someone beside them partnering with them in every aspects of our lives.
Absolutely. And it goes true for compliments too. Like I'll come out of the bathroom and if he sees that I actually did my hair or put makeup on, he'll say, hey, beautiful. And it's like, just, it stops me in my tracks. And just that compliment, or one day I came out of the bedroom and my hair was, I just woke up, my hair was all disarray and no makeup on. And he goes, God, you're beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, right? I don't need that to feel good about myself, but when I hear that, it's like, wow, you know, it feels good to have my husband compliment me and say beautiful things. Like words of affirmation for me are really important. Right. So that's number 3. Number 4 is go on a date. Go on a date, just the two of you, as often as you can, at least once a week. If you can't do once a week, do once every 2 weeks, but you gotta go, just the two of you, on a date where you're having time to take away from the things that you're doing together. So, you know, going, and we talked about this, you know, going to sporting events, whether it's hockey or basketball or baseball, those aren't my absolutely favorite things to do, but I like to do them with him because I like to see him enjoying doing those things. And so when he's there, I get to be with him and connect with him in a way. It's not my absolute favorite, but I like to do it with him. And vice versa, we were saying like going to rock concerts, you know, it's not absolutely his favorite, but he loves being with me when I'm rocking out, right? So we love to do things that are not necessarily a 10 on both of our lists of things to do, but we do them with each other because we want to be with each other and we want to have that time to have the experiences and just get to know each other better and spend that time with each other.
And it's just great to connect with each other without the kids, without other distractions, without the things. Often we'll say, all right, well, we don't want to think about, you know, what business, right? We don't want to talk about business. We want to go out, just have lunch, Christy and Frederic. And it feels good to just connect together and have a conversation about what we want to do for our next trip, for example. And so we talk about that together. What we want to, where we see each other live in our next home that we want. So this is how we connect, things that we do and talk together when we are connecting together, when we're just her and I.
Yes. So number 5 is have some friends that you can go out with. We have a lot of different couple friends. We have our date nights. We have our time that we go. If it's not a night, sometimes we go to breakfast. If it's not breakfast, sometimes we'll go to lunch. Other times it's activities. But then we also have time that we spend with other couple friends. So it might be my girlfriend Elisa and her husband Jeff, they have 2 younger kids, so we do these things as a family. Or it's like my other friends, Leslie and Brad, we do things as couples. Or my cousin, who's also my dear friend Natalie and Tim, we do things as couples and go out for a nice dinner. Or like we went to medieval times with Natalie and Tim and the boys over Christmas. And doing these kind of activities with other people also adds to the fun of the relationship. And it's got to be people that you both enjoy, right? That you both really feel comfortable with and enjoy being with.
Obviously, yes.
Yeah. So number 6 is doing small things to show that you care. Something like, when Frederic grabs my foot and just gives me a foot massage, it's like, oh, he cares, right? Or if I was go make him a snack, or if I call him up and say, hey, I'm heading back home, you want me to pick you up Subway, or, something like that. But doing things to show that you love, doing acts of appreciation like that. So whatever it is, picking up something, making, like this morning when we were coming, I'm like, hey, honey, I'm making myself some eggs. Would you like me to make you eggs? So it's doing things like that he really appreciated. He had a full-on breakfast before we came in. He didn't have to worry about making himself breakfast.
It's a small actions, as we say, actions speak louder than words. So these small gestures are the little actions throughout the day sometimes that are thoughtful of the other one, right? And have them say, hey, I'm thinking of you, and I know you like that, so I want to, I felt like I want to give you another iced tea, for example, for me when I get her an iced tea.
Oh, getting me an iced tea from my favorite place, that is like for anything. It's amazing. It is such a small thing, but it's a huge thing to me. So it is a small thing.
Small gestures.
It's the small things that matter. So number 7 is activity. We talked about kind of big activities, but what about little daily activities? So things like taking the dog for a walk, or even just going for a walk, saying, hey babe, let's just go for a walk around the block, just to connect in nature. It might be doing something like cooking together, making a meal together, where you're in the kitchen. Maybe we sometimes turn on some music and we're dancing around the kitchen. He'll make the meat, I'll make the veggies, but we're doing something as an activity together.
Right. So all these things, by the way, they're all things that make the relationship, more interesting, because during these moments, again, those are the moments where we get to know more of each other. And it's not in a relationship where you're not in a relationship where the first couple of years you get to know each other and then that's it. You don't know the person anymore. There's growth, there's things that evolve, and as we say, everything in our lives, including ourselves, we all change and we all evolve. We all have different tastes, different things that we like to experience, and that's what keeps the relationship alive.
That's what keeps the relationship interesting. It's how to make your relationship last, and how to really show love to your partner, how to love your partner more, and how to have that love spark. You got to feed it like a fire, right?
Yeah.
You got to spark, you got to flame that fire, and you got to create that spark. The spark doesn't create itself. You got to create, and you got to put. It's like with anything. You have to put yourself in it. You have to invest your energy in it and be able to show that to your partner and give to your partner, to be able to have love manifest, to manifest love into your relationship, and to have your best relationship manifest. So number 7 is activity. So number 8 is one of our favorites. That's cuddling in bed. So our alarm goes off, and I usually snooze it, and when I do, what that means is I back up and he comes forward and we do a little cuddle time.
It might be TMI right now, but
no, it's cuddle time.
It's cuddle time.
Like, we love our cuddle time, and we just get to cuddle up next to each other, and he puts his arm. I feel enveloped in his love, and I'm just like in my cozy bed, my cozy comforter, and I just feel so safe and so warm, and I just feel like, and I just feel his love all around me, and it just starts the day in such a beautiful way. And sometimes, like, if his back's to me, I'll tap him, and then he'll come,
Like, it's time to cuddle. We get our 5 minutes cuddle.
Yeah, but it does. It creates a beautiful connection of being able to touch each other, not in a sexual way, but just being able to cuddle with each other and hold each other and start it in that way. Whether it's at night before you go to bed or when you're waking up in the morning, when you cuddle doesn't really matter. It could be cuddling on the couch, but it's like having that cuddle time is really, it's been a really big deal for us.
Especially if you both kind of like that touch, the touchy part of the relationship, right? Touch for us is a good,
big part,
important part of our relationship.
Absolutely. So number 9 is do growth together, do a course together, come to a couples retreat together. Frederic and I, we always invest in our relationship. We are going to our own couples retreats. We're doing our own courses together. We're always doing something, whether it's a meditation or sessions with the counsel or sessions with my healer, to make the relationship even more connected, to release those places that we talked about a couple episodes, release any places in our own pain bodies so that we can be relating more from our love bodies. So if you're wanting that, we have an amazing course that we just created, just released. It's called From Drama to Love, getting out of the drama triangle, getting out of struggle and chaos, and getting into the circle of love. So you can go fromdramatolove.com. Or if you want in couples coaching, we have that available, and we have a couples retreat that we do once a year. So you could go to christywhitman.com and find out about our couples retreat. They're always just absolutely amazing. We had couples that came last year and said that weekend completely and absolutely changed their relationship in ways that they couldn't even have imagined. And they had a good relationship, but it's like they really pushed the reset button, and they have more love and more connection than they ever have. So doing those kind of things together is really important.
Yeah, we put together quite an experience for both couples, both sides of the couples, of the men and the women, and it's really a once-in-a-lifetime experience to take a look at.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so number 10, you want to say number 10?
Number 10 is have more sex.
Not just have more sex.
Sex
have more like toe curling, awesome hair curling sex.
All right.
With your partner.
With each other, hopefully.
In the relationship.
So if touch is a good part of the relationship, obviously it'll lead to more intimacy, and the intimacy leads to,
Great sex.
And we all need the sex.
The sex.
Let's not lie about it. Good sex.
It's medicinal.
Is a good part. Yes, it is. It is medicinal.
It's a good release.
And I've heard that apparently when we orgasm, it keeps us young, keeps us physically young.
That's why we look like we're in our 30s.
Yeah. All right, it's becoming another show right now.
So those are our top 10 best advice, even though we don't give advice, how to spark your relationship, how to keep it alive, how to start fueling more fire to your relationship, how to have a happy marriage, how to have a happy relationship. And so try one of them, do one of them, and see what the reaction is from your partner. Do something to feed your relationship today, and you will see that what you send out comes back to you. So have an amazing week. Next week, we are going to be talking about, those of you that are parents, how to empower your children, whether it's your own kid or a step kid. Whether you're in a step situation or they're your own flesh and blood, how to parent and empower your kids. Until then, have an amazing week, everyone.
And see you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to Conscious Coupling with Frederic Gobet and Christy Whitman. If you like our show and want to know more, check out christywhitman.com. And please leave us a review on iTunes. Learn how to turn your partner into your soulmate. Join us again next week for another powerful episode.